Aloft means up there?
Aloft means up there, so I think we better show you the ropes.
Is that what the expression means?
Absolutely, yes. And I think you should go up to the main top and see how you get on up the rigging. You've got to start by climbing up on the carronade, over the hammock netting.
Hang on, onto here?
Yep.
Yeah.
Over the hammock netting.
Yeah.
And into the shrouds. And those thin ropes are the ratlins.
Yeah.
Up you go. All the way up to the main top above you.
What's that platform?
That's right. Now, when you get up to the top, there are two ways of handling it. One, you can go through the lubber's hole close to the mast. And that's a bit dishonourable, but it's your first time. Or you can go over the futtocks, which means climbing out backwards and hanging out over the deck and going round the outside.
I think I'm missing out on the futtocks. This is for real?
This is for real. Good luck.
I don't know if I can do this.
Yes, you can.
I had it a bit easier than in the 18th century. I got to climb up the rope ladder rather than the ratlins, but it was still precarious. I know the sensible thing is not to look down, but the problem is you get your feet jammed on the bits of rope. And so you're forced to look down, but then every time you look down, you can see quite how... Oh, God, I'm less than halfway. Oh, I'm slowing down now. I think it's tiredness, it's just fear. Hard to believe that when they used to do this, they'd be on a grog ration of something like half a pint of rum mixed with water. So they'd be climbing up like this on the equivalent, oh God, of about 12 rum and cokes. Oh, I don't like this bit. I can't get my foot in the rung. Just feel as though I'm not very secure at all. I feel very sick and shaky. It swings out here every time you do a step. Oh, lordy, 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 lordy. It's so steep. I don't quite know how to get on. Oh, I've done it. That is by far the most frightening thing I've ever done in my life. I'm bloody glad I've done it though. It's extraordinary to think that the guys who were doing that could have been doing it in a storm with the boat pitching and tossing and tossing and pitching, and then when they got up here they might well be asked, do you see that thing over there, that yard arm? They'd have been asked to go along there in order to furl or unfurl something. In fact, my legs are shaking so much I'm just going to sit down for a bit. That was bloody scary. In reality, a top man would have had to get up there in under a minute. I took 5 times that getting down, and I didn't have to untie and haul up the rigging.
Well done. I think we'll have to rate you able seaman after that.
I think you should make me an admiral for that.
And imagine what it would have been like if you hadn't just been in the main top, but you'd been out on the main yard somewhere. Well, you've done very well. Very well indeed.
I'm a bit pleased with myself. After that, I really needed my grog ration. The good news about the food is that there's plenty of it. You have it in this square thing, so you actually get a square meal, and the drink is this half rum, half water cocktail, which is remarkably good. The meat on this plate is this stuff, which is salt pork, which you soak to get rid of all the salt and then cook it up. Well, very, very, very salty. But it's bearable. And the biscuit to go with it, it's not that nice actually, is this thing. It really is hard tack. And the real problem with it is, can you see those little holes in there? After a while, when you've been at sea a few months, it gets riddled with these little beetles. You can just about see one there. You can see them. This food really is quite disgusting, but you can see the beetles crawling around in there. And the biscuit is so hard that you have to soak it in this gravy. Actually, there's not much gravy. It's all kind of congealed fat and God knows what. And then take a bite and I think I've got about 17 beetles in here. That's quite disgusting. It's not nice at all.
2, 6,
At one time, the Navy was fighting the Spanish, the Dutch, the Russians and the Americans. So Action Stations was the cue for an even worse job in the Navy, the gunner. British gun crews were pushed hard. They had to fire at 3 times the rate of the opposition. This made them more vulnerable to accidents, causing horrific injuries and death. What other dangers were there in the battle?
One of the most dangerous things would be a ball hitting the side of the ship. When that happens, the inside of the ship erupts in a great shower of splinters. Some of them could be 6 foot long. So far more injuries caused by that than by a cannonball itself hitting you. Splinters were the real dangerous things. If any of these ropes was severed, one of these cannons could break loose. Now, if there's a heavy sea, that could also be another problem.
That'd be lethal. I mean, I've seen what a dead weight these things are.
That's obviously the origin of the phrase, a loose cannon, because that would cause so much damage rolling around inside the ship.
During a naval battle, this would have been a terrible place to be. Ships often used to fight yardarm to yardarm and pound each other so the cannonballs would be smashing right into the opposite gun room. What could be worse than being a man doing this kind of back-breaking job at the height of battle on a deck drenched in blood? Well, being a boy doing pretty much the same thing, I suppose. Believe it or not, there were boys as young as 6 or 7 doing one of the most dangerous jobs of all on a ship, being a powder monkey. But it wasn't just boys, was it, Jenny?
No, there were women on board ship, and anyone who wasn't involved in the actual manning of the guns would be helping in some way, running the powder from the magazine.
How do we know that?
Well, there were contemporary accounts, but also when there was a Naval Service Medal issued for Nile and Trafalgar, then a lot of women came forward to try and claim that medal, but were refused.
Come and show me what they did. So what did the powder monkeys actually do?
Well, you need to carry the powder from the magazine, which is right down the bottom of the ship, as fast as possible up to the guns and the gun crews.
Were there many powder monkeys doing this?
There were quite a few powder monkeys, but you have to do it in relays, so there would be a continual stream of people coming down to the magazine and up to the guns.
And they'd be carrying it in this?
Yes, a powder keg.
And this presumably protects it from sparks?
Yeah. If there's a spark anywhere, it will obviously explode, and so you're not trailing gunpowder through the ship. And when you get there, it's kind of secure until you actually need the powder.
So where were they running from?
From the powder magazine.
Down
so
here?
you better go, yeah.
It's quite a way, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Down here?
Yes. And here's the powder keg. You need to go and get that filled up.
There's a bloke down here.
Yes, that's a Marine, and he's there to stop any unauthorised people coming into the magazine.
But I'm authorised.
Oh, yes.
Right, what do I do?
Come in. Right, put that down. We'll refill that. So stop filling that up with cartridges.
Why are these walls copper-lined?
Couple